Hey everybody, Crafting Journey here. That Journey Chick on Instagram. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Crafting and Crime. Yes, do you see a theme here? Pink. Pink. Yes, I'm the pink lady now. Couple of things to show you before I start. Also, before I start, thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button and then buy it a Diamond Art Club diamond painting, but don't give it any wax. Yes. Or a pen. Leave the pen out. Also, make sure you get all the notifications for when I have another video uploaded, which you never know. It's daily, but then sometimes I upload other things. Yep. So, hello, llama. You have to scoot, scoot, scoot out of the way. Out of the way. Okay. I got some yarn yesterday from Hobbii. I like Hobbii yarn. I'm actually started a new project with Hobbii yarn yesterday. I'm using, it's a number 5 weight. It was taking a lot of room up in the drawer. So I said, let's make a hooded scarf. You know, I just love these hooded scarves. Some people have a thing. Some people like shawls. Some people like hooded scarves. I like hooded scarves. So I'm making this one out of this yarn. It's also Hobbii yarn. I say that it's a 5 weight. Hobbii does not rate their yarns. They don't give it numbers, which is kind of annoying. But so because I understand, worsted weight. I just dropped the needle. Worsted weight, sport weight. It's a little confusing to me. I know somebody's going to put in a chart and they're going to explain it to me. I get it. But I always make sure that before I buy it, it's at least a worsted weight. So I got a couple of skeins of this. And more pink. Yes, you are sensing a theme. Now I'm thinking this is I'm calling it a 4 weight. I don't know what they call it. It's a very light 4 weight though. It's called Carnival. That's the name of the color. This is made in Turkey, designed in Denmark. Okay, they do give it a number. This is a 3. They give it a number 3. Now, when you purchase it, they don't have numbers. So I had to guess. So it's a 3 weight. Okay, we'll go with 3 weight. I can work with 3 weight. So I've got 2 of these. Now this would make a very nice shawl, and it has 262 yards in both skeins. I like the combination of the gray and the pink. That'll make something really beautiful. But then, of course, I had to get another color of the same yarn. Look how gorgeous these colors are. What? Yes. Purple and blue and teal and oh my God, so beautiful. So this is the same thing, but what do they call? Oh, this one says Carnival too. I guess that's just the name of the yarn. It's not the name of the color. Oh, that is weird. Okay. I'll go with that. Whatever. So anyway, and I can't tell you how much I paid for it because I ordered it so long ago. I don't remember. Shipping is so daggone slow, and it's going to get even slower according to the post office. Then one more thing. I ordered this. Now, you cannot tell how beautiful it is, I don't think, on camera. Look at how beautiful that is. It's a black, but it has this silver and gold strands in it that is just going to make a lovely, lovely something. There's like 700 and something yards here. 700. It's called Winter Glow. It's 51% wool, 49% acrylic. You'd think I could add to 100, right? These are acrylic, I believe. Yeah, 100% acrylic on these. Again, with the hooded scarves, right? Now, I don't know what I'm going to make out of this. I haven't decided. It'll probably be a hooded scarf. I just love hooded scarves. This hat that I have on, this would make a cute one of these hats. I don't know. I haven't decided. If you guys have ideas, let me know. But I'm loving this. 51% wool. Yeah. So now I got to put them in a drawer to keep the cats away from them. Yes, I do. All right, let me get my pens over here, the yarn over here. So yeah, this weekend is the Crystal's Crafty Creation. She's doing 24 hours of crafting. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, I was like, wide awake, by the way. I said to myself, well, can it be more than one craft? Like, can I do some crochet and some diamond painting and some cross stitch? So I popped into the Zoom and I asked, and they're like, oh, sure, just combine them. So far I've got about 5 hours in because, like I said, I was up at 2:30 in the morning. Plus, I diamond painted for 2 hours yesterday during Mickey's live and Jen's live. Then I diamond painted for another hour during the Zoom last night. And then I started this hooded scarf yesterday. And it's such an easy pattern. Oh my God. I could sit and work on it while I'm talking to you. Instead of diamond painting. Why is this little end sticking out? It's quite annoying. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. It's just a little annoying. We're just going to tuck it in there. First, let's get our journal out. Our planner. Yes. Oops. I'm determined to drop this hook. Okay. Boy. All right. So last night I did Mickey's live, and J-Rob's live. And it's Saturday. I've already done a load of laundry. Stripped my bed, washed the sheets, put them back on the bed. Now I'm washing the regular clothes. So, laundry day. I have to go to Walmart today because I have not wrapped any of the presents that I have for my blessing box for the retreat. So, because we have to wrap them and number them, and I don't know. They've got this whole thing planned. I'm just going with it. So I got to get some wrapping paper. That's what happened yesterday. Okay, I wrote that down already. We're good. So, just so you know, tomorrow will be 11 o'clock Central. I will do my live crafting journey live at 11 Central. A lot of my peeps are going to pop in because we're all doing the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash, a monster mash. 11 Central, so tune in for that. Some of them are complaining about how early they have to get up, but yeah, live in my shoes. Get up at 2:30 in the morning. Although I will tell you, I did go back to bed for a couple of hours, so just a couple. Back up at 5 o'clock. Yeah, it wasn't a very restful sleep when I went back because the cats went with me, and of course they're laying on top of me. Okay, crochet. Let's crochet. What national day it is? I didn't write that down in the journal. What national day is it? It is National Name Your Car Day. I have never named a car. I have not lived with a person who named a car. Just not a thing with me. Naming cars? So the suggestion is, what is this? Oh, it's a pencil. I'm not writing a pencil. Take your car out, show it some love today, which would be ridiculous because it's raining. So I'm not doing that either. Okay. Name your car day. Now, if you have some suggestions for my car, it's red. It's just a car. There's nothing distinctive about it. Like if I were to rob a bank, people would just say, "Oh, it was a red car." What model was it? I don't know. It's just a red car. That's my car. It's just a red car. Hi, Tootsie. Hi, girl. It's just a red car. It's It's not like, hey, did it have any rims on it? Any aftermarket? No, just a red car. Any, God, yeah, that's me. Okay, we are double crocheting here. So let me know if you have named your car. Let me know if you plan to take it out today and have a car wash and give it a little wax and maybe a vacuum, maybe some car detailing. We're going to talk about car detailing later on in the show. Yeah, let me know. Because if you want to get away with a crime, sometimes you need to get your car detailed. Yeah, yeah, spend a lot of money. I wonder if that guy that's accused of that kidnapping and murder named his car. I don't think so. Anyway, I had fun last night teasing Mickey about her singing career. My sister's in the kitchen. She's in the kitchen. What is going on with this stitch? That looks kind of funky. Anyway, so that's National Car Day. So let's talk about judge, jury, and jury. So yesterday at work, it was just me and one other girl, and she sits like way in the back. So I was listening to the trial without my headphones. Yay. So the first person that I listened to was a forensic trace examiner. So what that means is she looks at any kind of small fibers, mostly like hair. So she was given trace evidence that was collected from the clothing of the victim, which is Sasha Kraus. So there was hair that came from one of her shoes. So she had known samples from the defendant, Mark Ghosh, and she had known samples from the victim, Sasha Kraus. And so she compared this hair with both of them and said it didn't match either one of them. So that was the dead end. So they couldn't nail the defendant with the hair. But there was hair found in the trace evidence from the vehicle. But there were so many different agencies, like there was FBI was involved. There was a couple of different, because she was found in Arizona, but she was kidnapped in New Mexico. So there was a lot of different agencies involved. So different people collected trace evidence. So the trace evidence that came from his vehicle, we have not heard what that showed yet, because I believe there was hair collected from that evidence. And in this case, the jury is allowed to ask questions. And one of the questions they asked was, hey, what about the hair from the vehicle? And she's like, I never got any hair from the vehicle. So the attorneys kind of had to explain, that she only tested what she was given, and different, that was from such and such an agency, and there could be other agencies with trace evidence in this case, and blah, blah, blah. So I guess we'll hear about that hair later. Am I doing this right? I feel like it looks right, doesn't it? Okay. I don't do a lot of color control. I'm not that good yet. So I just crochet as the yarn comes out of the middle or the side. I actually got this one to come out of the middle for a change. How about that, huh? Llama, do you want to hold my yarn? Yeah. There you go. You can hold my yarn. So then they recalled the gentleman that works for the Air Force, but he's a detective. He's a trained police officer, but he works for the Air Force, and he does investigation. Well, he had examined the contents of the defendant's cell phone, and when he testified before, he didn't have his report with him to say which websites he found in the browser on the cell phone. So they recalled him, and now he had his records with him. And it showed that Mark Ghosh had gone to the Farmington Police Department website on two different occasions. On January 29th, he went there, and then he went there again on February 2nd, but he specifically went to an article um, where they were requesting information about this deceased person that they found that they had not identified. So he went to that site, and then he actually went there a third time and clicked on an article where they were um, offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the capture of him or the perpetrator of this crime. And that was on February 21st. Also on February 21st, he went to the Facebook site, the San Juan Police Department Facebook site. So he was clearly looking to see if anybody was on to him. And they weren't. So that, keep in mind now, that's February 21st that he's looking at these Facebook sites. So then we have on February 23rd, 2 days later, he goes to the next person to take the stand is a fellow airman that he works with. They're friends. They're not, one is not in charge of the other. They're just coworkers. So he had gone to this coworker and said, "Hey, I want to get my car detailed. Do you think I could store some stuff in the back of your truck?" And the guy's like, "Sure, I don't care." So he wasn't there when Mark Ghosh put anything in the back of his truck, but the guy goes into the back of his truck later on to get something out. I don't remember why he did it, but he saw what Mark had stored in there, and it was some tools and a .22 caliber rifle. So he was a little concerned about that because they're not allowed to have guns on the base, rifles on the base. They have to be stored in a locker as you enter the base. Well, clearly this was not stored. So so Mark goes and gets his car detailed that day, and we'll hear from the car wash manager next. But he tells Mark, he says, "Listen, you're not allowed to have this on the base. You're going to get in trouble. Let me tell you, there's another guy, one of the airmen that was superior to them. I don't think he was their direct report, but he worked with them as well. His name was Jeremiah Levesque. He says, he lives off base. He's got a lockbox. Why don't you go ask him if you can store your rifle there?" And he did. He went to that guy and he asked him, "Can I store my rifle there?" So, and then he retrieved the rest of his stuff out of the back of this guy's truck. So then we hear from the car wash manager who tells us, yes, on the 23rd, and we see the receipt, February 23rd, 2 days after he's checking this website out, 2 days after he sees there's a reward for his capture, he decides he's going to get his car detailed. He gets the top of the line detailing for $220, which included steaming and shampooing the interior of the vehicle, including the trunk, a washing of the leather. It also included headlight refurbishing, something like that, headlight something or other, which is rather expensive, I understand. If he had not gotten the headlight part, it would have been about $50 less. Still quite expensive for detailing. I mean, they really did a great job on the detailing. So he goes and gets his car detailed, which, as you recall, the Trace examiner, when she processed that vehicle, she mentioned how spotless this vehicle was, even a few months later when she's processing it, and there was very little trace evidence. The other thing that guy testified to, the one where he stored his stuff in his truck, he said the day after the January 19th, the day after the kidnapping, he had invited Mark to go to a swap meet. Now, we saw in the surveillance video that Mark returns to he leaves on the 18th, the morning of the 18th. He doesn't come back till the morning of the 19th, goes back into his dormitory. We don't see him leaving that dormitory again until noon when he goes to take the trash out. But this guy's saying, no, he went to the swap meet with me. So I don't know if there was another way he could have exited without being noticed on the surveillance camera. But he says, yeah, we spent a couple of hours at the swap meet on the 19th. Okay. And he said, well, was he acting unusual that day? Tired, stressed, anxious? No, he was acting like his usual self. Okay. Interesting. So then they put this Jerry Levesque on the stand. I did not finish listening to his testimony. We do know that he was approached and he did agree to allow Mark to store his rifle at his place off base. So that is that. Yeah. So I will keep listening this weekend while I'm either crocheting or diamond painting. So, what happened this day in history? So, what I'm trying to do with this day in history now is trying to make it a little bit more international, as opposed to always talking about what happened in the U.S. this day in history. So, this day in history, this Boeing 757 with 180 passengers, it's bound for, I forgot where it was headed. I'll tell you in a sec. Okay, it was headed for Chile, Santiago, Chile. So, but they have to make a stop in Lima, Peru. So they stop in Lima, Peru. 119 people disembark in Peru. And the rest of the people transfer to a different Boeing 757 and to continue their flight to, what did I say? Chile. Now, when they took off, it was October 1st. Now it is just after midnight on October 2nd. So the flight takes off. It's over water and it starts having instrument problems. The pilot and the co-pilot are getting all these alarms and they're all contradicting each other. And I listened to the flight cockpit recorder. It's very chilling, I might add. So they're very confused because none of the instrumentation is giving them the right data. So they're kind of relying on the air traffic controllers to give them the correct data. Well, the data that they're getting is actually the same data that the air traffic controller is getting. So they're not being helped at all by the air traffic controller. So finally, the air traffic controller said, because they're like, we don't know what's going on. We think we're flying at 10,000 feet. They weren't. They were actually flying at 2,000 feet altitude. So they turn back around. They're going to land back in Peru, and the air traffic controller says in 15 minutes we'll have another 757 going up into the air who can escort you back. They didn't have 15 minutes, I got to tell you. So during this whole time, this 15 minutes, they're getting these crazy alarms. They're cursing at the instrumentation because they just don't know what's going on. They can't even, I'm sitting in my recliner having a cup of coffee listening to this, and I was getting anxious listening to it because I knew what was coming. They didn't. And it was just so horrible. So I'm going to play a little bit of the sound of this for you. I'll play it at the end, just in case you don't want to listen to it. It's quite chilling. So what ends up happening is, like I said, they start their descent because they think they're close to the airport, and they're at 10,000 feet, so they're talking about putting down the the wheels, and and the other pilot, the co-pilot's going no, and then they're getting like terrain alerts, um, and they can't even figure out what direction they're going in. And plus, it's after midnight. It's totally dark. They're out in the middle of nowhere. They can't. There's no flight. Like they can't look out the window and see anything, landmarks to figure out where they were. They can't see them. So that was no help. So eventually, what ends up happening is the left wing dips into the ocean and just rips off, and you can hear it ripping off. It, and they go, "Oh my God, impact!" You can hear an impact alarm, um, and then the next thing you hear is that they're inverting, because when the wing dipped and went off, the plane inverted and went into the ocean. It drowned everyone, absolutely everybody. Nobody survived. Um, the U.S. Navy had to go out and help with the retrieval of the black box, and that's how we have the audio from the last few minutes of that flight. Now, they investigated the cause of what was the instrumentation failure, and they figured out that when the plane was detailed, again, we have detailing, that's like the theme for today. Go out and get your car detailed and name it before you commit the murder, or after you commit the murder, right? Um, but if you're in a plane and you get the car, you get it detailed, there's the static instrumentation underneath the plane. It has to be covered with something. And later models of these 757s actually have a thing that covers it, and it has a red flag that says please remove before takeoff, so they can remove the cover. But if it's covered up, the instrumentation is not going to work. Well, some brilliant mechanic left duct tape. He put duct tape on it so that they could, wax the rest of the plane without damaging the instrumentation. But he didn't take the duct tape off. And they actually prosecuted him. He got a sentence of 2 years that was suspended. So he didn't have to really serve any time in jail. But he's like, no, no, no. He was very uneducated. He's like, no, that plane was sabotaged. I didn't do that. Of course, what is he going to say? I mean, how horrible to think that you might have been negligent and caused all those people's deaths. But yeah, duct tape. He forgot to remove the duct tape. Oh my God. That's crazy. Yeah, so that was the cause of the accident. What year was that? That was in 1996. Yeah, forgot to tell you the year. On October 2nd, 1996. So what I'm going to do now is play a little bit of the audio of the last few minutes of that flight. What you'll hear is the two pilots. They're speaking in Spanish. If you know Spanish, you'll understand what they're saying, and it's not all nice language. Mass confusion going on. I don't know what the passengers knew or didn't know, but if you don't want to listen, I understand. I'm morbid. I listened. But again, don't forget to hit the like button after you listen, or here if that's where you're going to depart the show. All right, let me put this on so you can hear the last few minutes of this flight. That was the impact.